This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, got it.
Hi everyone, it's Sandra Ganley here, back for another episode of the Country Chats podcast. I hope everybody is keeping well, and thanks a mil for listening in for the 2022 series. So we're on series 4 now, and I'm delighted to have a lovely lady here in front of me. She's not too far away from me, from what I believe, from what Google is telling me, and I'm delighted because I haven't met this lady yet, but I feel like I'm meeting her now on Zoom. So Katelyn, Malloy, how are you?
I'm great, Sandra. Thank you so much for having me on.
No problem. I'm delighted to have you on. Now, you're only down the road, I believe. Well, you're from Claregalway, am I right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, and you're currently there, live from Claregalway at the moment.
Oh, live from Claregalway, yeah. I'm still here, still over here.
Lovely, yeah. So you're only down the road. I'm only here in Bohola in Mayo, so you're not too far away. I'd say maybe an hour. I'd say about.
Call in for the tea on a Sunday.
That's it, absolutely. When I'm passing now, actually, I was in Galway 3 times this week, and I'm actually passing in the morning, would you believe? So, Jesus, I could have just called in. We could have done it live after all that. Sure, look, we're here now on Zoom on a Sunday afternoon. But no, it's great to have you. As I said, I haven't met you before in person. Well, from what I can remember, I haven't met you in person. But
no, not yet.
Not yet, unless now you know yourself when you're at a dance or something, you wouldn't know who you're bumping into. But no, it's lovely to get to have the chats with you now. I'm sure following you on Facebook and social media and all that jazz. So it's lovely now, and you've been a very busy lady up until like literally this week, last week. So I suppose we're as well start with Glór Tíre, are we? Yeah. You have had a great run at Glór Tíre there. You got to the semi-finals. Now, look, obviously, semi-finals, someone has to go, but you've had a brilliant run of it there since Christmas. How has your Glór Tíre experience been?
It's been wonderful, and I suppose like that, everyone says you got to the semi-final, and it was always a thing when you're in these competitions. Someone has to go some week. And to be honest with you, and I'm not just saying this, but I think the standard of talent in Glór Tíre this year with all my fellow contestants was so high, it was going to be very hard to call it. I mean, every single one of us are so different. We've different music tastes, we've different styles, our performance styles are different. So to be honest with you, there'd be no animosity among any of us for whoever wins it. We'll be in their corner and we'll go and support the guys on Tuesday night. But Glór Tíre for me has always been something that I wanted to do. And I suppose anybody in country music, Glór Tíre is kind of something you aim for. And I've been aiming for it for a couple of years. So when I got the chance to be on it this year, I was absolutely delighted. And I mean, you learn so much from it. The exposure you get, I mean, you're getting national television coverage, so you can't argue with that really. And you're meeting new people and learning an awful lot of new things about yourself. So I was delighted to be in Glór Tíre, and I had a really, really good time. Everybody was so welcoming and so helpful. So yeah, it was brilliant.
Oh, that's great to hear. And yeah, it is. I suppose it's essentially the X factor of country music, really, here in Ireland. So I suppose, yeah. So it was a big deal, I'm guessing, just to be asked to be on it. Never mind getting, like, the semi-final was just a added bonus. Like, it's just to get on it, really. It sounds like it was a big deal for you.
Absolutely. As I said, I've been singing country music since I was 15, and you'd always watch Glór Tíre at home here to see, I suppose, what was going on and keep up with everybody. So when I was asked to do it, I was thrilled, and especially coming out of COVID, which was such a hard time for everybody in music. We were very lucky then to get the chance, I suppose, to project ourselves on Glór Tíre. So yeah, big deal for me, and I was delighted to be part of it.
Excellent. So I suppose when this episode goes out, actually, Glór Tíre, I'd say the winner will probably have been crowned. So I wonder, who do we think it's going to be? I personally have my favourite. I'm a big fan of Aisling. I love Aisling. So I don't know. Do you want to be neutral now and just say best of luck to everyone? Well, sure, look, they're going to be crowned by now. So I'm Team Aisling. So.
Well, I suppose, and it's not just because I know them and I suppose I've been in the competition with them, it's a very hard one to call. I mean, Aisling is superb, and she has, again, her own style of singing that she does. And she's so young as well. I mean, she's fantastic. And Rachel then has just come into country music. She was telling me last year. And then again, she brings her own original style to it. And then Kenny is fabulous as well. So I really, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not just saying it, I couldn't call it. I really couldn't, and every single one of them would be a deserving winner in my eyes. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
There we go. Spoken like a true pro. Well, look, the winner will be announced by the time people are listening to this, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. So that's been the Glór Tíre journey, and as you said, along with that, you're on telly every week, national broadcast, as well as that, there's a bit of hype in the papers and the signs on the road and whatever bit of, I suppose, publicising you're doing. So there's been a great buzz over the past few weeks for you.
Brilliant buzz. I mean, you can't ask for better. And again, you're making new friends in the business all the time, and definitely in the country music business, you need your friends, and everybody, I suppose, huddles and groups together to help one another out. So yeah, it was a great start to the year for me, to be honest. And off the back of it, I mean, the last few days there's been gig requests coming in, and there's a couple of things happening in the summer, all off the back of Glór Tíre. So I'm very lucky, and I can't wait to get rolling with it all.
That's brilliant. That's great. And one thing you've said there, you just said there about everyone kind of works together and helps each other out and that kind of thing. It's funny because I recorded another episode earlier on the day with Katie McParland, and that's one thing Katie said as well was the country music scene is small. We know that. Sure, everyone knows everyone. But I'm surprised to hear artists talking about other artists in a totally, not that I'm expecting you to be bitching about each other or anything, but like you all talk about each other in such a positive light, and we all help each other out, and we all work together, and we're all friends, and we're all, it's great to hear that, because I suppose I'm not an artist or a singer, but looking in, you sometimes wonder, well, do they really get along now, or is there a bit of this and that, but it seems that for the most part there is that bit of camaraderie, and people get on and you see each other's events and all that kind of thing, that it is kind of one big family. Look, you'll have your tips here and there, I'm sure, with, look, you're not going to get on with everyone, but as a general thing, it does sound like there's camaraderie between everyone, and especially in a Glór Tíre situation, because you're so tight-knit for that few weeks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people probably looking at Glór Tíre and other things from the outside would say, well, they're in competition with one another, so they're all for show for the cameras, and they probably don't really get on at the best behind it all, but we do. And even, I haven't met Katie yet, but like that, when she started her music, we'd be friends on Facebook, and we'd share one another's things. I mean, it's a business where you really do have to have others helping you and you helping others. Mm-hmm. It'd be a pretty lonely place if you didn't. So it's not all for show. I mean, as you said, sure, every business people will have tips and stuff, but I could easily say 99% of it, we do get on well, we do wish each other well, and we just keep up with one another, sharing people's things on Facebook and their singles and downloading their singles. So it really is a really good little family, is what it is.
That sounds good. And the word girl power springs to mind. I feel like the younger females are great for keeping each other going and that kind of thing. So it's all about the girl power, with all the younger country music female singers coming, starting up the ranks, or if you've been singing for years, everyone just helps each other out. So it's great. So we're painting a great picture of the country music scene here, I tell you.
Absolutely. It's all fun and games, all fun and games.
That's good to hear. So Glór Tíre wasn't your first how will we phrase it, show, I suppose, your first singing show? No, you've been there, done that with The Voice, which was it back in 2016?
Well, definitely 2016. Yeah, it feels like a lifetime ago, to be perfectly honest with you. I suppose The Voice, while I went in kind of as a country singer, I don't know did it necessarily, I suppose, that particular program suited, but I tried out for The Voice, and then that didn't go my way. But that was my first kind of on-screen competition, I suppose. And I still at the time was quite young, and I was learning a lot about the business still and TV side of it. And then, of course, Una was my cousin, so there was a big, I suppose, thing about her not being able to turn for me. But at the end of the day, I mean, they have no idea of knowing. So I was gutted, to be honest, for a while after it, and I was kind of thinking, what did I do wrong? But off the back of it, then I started doing more things myself. I learned things I had to do and how to better myself, and I was all the better coming out the end of it, to be honest with you. So yeah, that was an experience in itself.
That sounds great. Like, it's all positivity there coming from you, like, which is great that you were able to take that as a learning process and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I was very young. And there's a lot of things, I suppose, with music and the business itself that until you do them, and I suppose, kind of have come out nearly the wrong side of it. That you say, okay, well, this is what I need to work on. This is how I can progress, and this is how I can better myself. And then it wasn't too long after that, it was 2018, 2019, I released my first single that I wrote myself, and it went straight to #1. So I was over the moon. I mean, I couldn't ask for better than that, to be honest.
That sounds great. So the voice was kind of your first stepping stone, and then the album, and then or the song, and then it all kind of kicked off from there. And now you said Una is your cousin. That's Una Healy, I'm assuming.
Yes, she is.
And I didn't know that actually. And no, I did not. I mean, look, I might have read it before, but just today I didn't. So what is your first cousin?
She would be my dad's first cousin, so she's a second cousin of mine. Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, no, I did not know that. And would she have known? Like, look, for those that aren't involved in TV land, like a lot of TV land, like things are staged and scripted. Like, did Una know that it was you? That it was? She would have known your voice, though, wouldn't she? Like,
no, she didn't. Then again, I suppose she might have heard my voice before, but now I was singing a song that we'll just say I wouldn't usually sing.
What did you sing?
Love Story by Taylor Swift. It wouldn't have been my first choice.
It's country, but it's not like it's Taylor Swift country. It's pop country, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think that was the best song for me, but she didn't know. No, she didn't know, because afterwards, in fairness to her, she was very upset for me more so. But at the same time, like that, off the back of that, she gave me some great advice and about how to move forward. And as she said herself, the voice, while I didn't get through, it was all very much so projected in a very positive light. There was no nastiness coming from anyone, even papers and interviews and stuff after. They were all very supporting of it, actually. So yeah.
But sure, if she had turned, you probably would have got a bit of backlash. Like, of course I would. Yeah, so it was nearly a close one that, it didn't happen, because then there would have been negative stuff associated with, the cousin and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, the usual, she's only there because of her cousin. And after it, I suppose I was kind of happy in a sense that that didn't end up being the case, because I don't think maybe people would have thought that I got there for maybe my talent or deserving to be there. I think they might have had the thinking behind it of that's her cousin, and she's there because family ties and all that. So it was probably a good thing at the end of the day, to be honest with you.
So there's no family members involved in Lord Shearer, so is there?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
So and they changed the venue as well, didn't they?
It's wonderful. They did. It's over the road from me here in Clare, Galway. So I didn't have very far to travel. But the whole new setup, the new staging, it's beautiful. So yeah, we were very lucky as well that we got to be, a couple of the first series of Lord Shearer to be on that new stage, and it's really lovely. And it comes across on TV as if you're almost in this big huge arena kind of style. So it looks really well.
Whereabouts is it? I knew there was the new venue, but whereabouts is it? What is their name?
It's called Q1. It's over near the Clare Galway Industrial Estate there. So if you kind of know,
I can't even think where's the industrial estate. Oh, you turn left. Yeah, the school.
Yeah, it's down that road there. So the poor guys had hours and this to travel, and sure, I'd get up in the morning and have the tea, and I'd be over there in 5 minutes. That's very lucky.
That is ideal, isn't it? Isn't that ideal? So what is that? It's a studio, is it?
Yeah, they've built the whole a whole new set and everything. I'm not sure if it's a new base for it going forward, but I have a feeling it might be. So they redesigned a whole set and redesigned a whole staging over there, and they've a lot more room as well. So
so there's no bar.
No bar.
There's no bar. No. So that's a big difference to previous Lord Shearers. I've been to Lord Shearer in Galway City. Bit of a difference. I'll never forget walking into the quays and being like, this is how big it is. Like, it's tiny. On TV, it looks massive, but oh my God, it was tiny. So you're losing out. So what did you? The bottles of wine in the bag, so just for that little extra oomph.
Sure, we couldn't have anybody in there with us to have the bottles of wine. We had cups of tea, coffee, and bottles of water. All very professional and above board. But I'm sure once Lord Shearer is finished, and I suppose we all kind of get time to settle down, we'll probably all meet up and have a couple of drinks or have a meal or something to celebrate our year as a group, I suppose. So it'll be nice to do that.
That sounds so lovely. Like there's
Yeah.
it's just like one big family. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, well, they're all very good, and I suppose all of us would be so busy we might not get time to do it. Maybe further along in the year. So some Friday or Saturday night now we'll all have a good chin wag about the whole thing.
That sounds great. So that's been Lord Shira over the last few weeks. So that's, I suppose, coming straight into the new year. Like, did you know before Christmas? You would have.
We would have known, yeah, but I suppose at the same time it was kind of up in the air maybe whether it was going to go ahead, because we didn't know what way the cases with COVID and that were going to go. So it was kind of a week by week thing. Now we couldn't have an audience this year, as people would have seen, even with restrictions kind of lifting. They kind of wanted to keep within COVID guidelines just to make sure that the show got to finish out and that nobody had to pull out for any reasons with being sick or anything, which it's good. It's good. I do think the audience does help the atmosphere, but maybe it makes a difference. And obviously people like yourselves, they want to come and they want to see the show and be involved. But next year, I would imagine that they might have an audience back in, fingers crossed. And I'm sure we'll be over there watching.
Please God, yeah, we'll have the bottles of wine in the bag as well. So that's kept you going over the last few weeks. And then, just to add to the excitement for the new year, you got Irish Country Music Song of the Year with Down the Radio. Like, I mean, you've been busy.
I was very busy. You know, I got nominated for that, and I was thinking, you know, a nomination in itself is wonderful. And I suppose I'd be very critical of myself. I'd always be thinking, oh, I've got the nomination now. I'll never win it with my song. And then when I won it, I was stunned. I was here in the kitchen with Mum and Dad, and they called out my name. I actually left the room because I was like, I can't listen to it. And then I heard them screaming, and I ran back in, and I won. I was in shock. And then I met Mike Gleason from down the road, and he presented me with this beautiful piece here for the song winning Irish Country Song of the Year. And with it being my own song, sure, it was super, so special and so lucky. I was delighted with it. I really was.
It's a fabulous piece, because when you first came onto the call, I was straight away admiring your backdrop. I was thinking you went to so much effort. The guitar, the backdrop, the top. I mean, professional straight up. So that's your new lovely. So you have your own music room, and what else is in it there? Lots of shift to show us, but what else have you? One or two guitars and a.
I have two guitars. There's my speaker. There's my mic. All my gear for gigs and that are all here. They're over there, but most of them are upstairs. But this is where I'd be doing my songwriting and learning my songs and that. So yeah, it's great. It's great to have it. I'm very lucky to have the extra space to do it.
Absolutely, just even get into the right frame of mind and the headspace and all that. No, it's lovely. No, it's a lovely piece there. All right, and then because we're not finished yet, are we? Like then, so you win that, and then you are joining the radio gang.
I am. So then they approached me and asked me would I like to host my own show, and I was like, of course. So we haven't finalized a date for starting, but it will be Tuesday nights at 8. And obviously I'll post all that on my social media. It's going to be called Katelyns Country, every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock on Down the Road Radio. So I'm very excited to get into that side of things. I've never presented a show before, so that's another thing that's going to be new for me. And that'll keep me busy. And as I said, there's gigs coming up in March, and there's gigs coming up in April and May. And I'll post all of them on social media if people are following.
It's a fabulous start to the year. Like, I mean, yeah. it's just been one thing after another for you. So that's absolutely brilliant. And I mean, yeah, Lord Shira came. It's all just came at the right time. And obviously the radio now as well. So that's great. And obviously on a Tuesday night, I suppose. I mean, not that I'm saying you won't have gigs on a Tuesday night, but more than likely you might not. So it's working out in that sense that it's on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, it really does. But like that, there was I suppose a while there where I thought maybe nothing was happening with the music and I was releasing singles and that was all great. But then, like you just said there, it's the right time for everything. And I'm a firm believer in there is a time for everything, no matter how much you work at it or throw at it. Once you're constantly kept going, your time will come, and it might be a different time for you and a different time for somebody else. So I do think that this year has been very special for me, and definitely looking forward to seeing what the rest of the year has to bring for me. Fingers crossed it'll be busy.
So you're like a guidance counsellor there. Even what you were saying there, I was like, yes, Yes, I hear you. I hear you. Jeez, you're a great woman. Give you that positive vibes. I'm going to be coming out of this going, that was great. I'm ready to go. Things
Yeah.
are going to happen. Jeez, fair play to you. There's another career now if if you get sick of the music, but I don't think that's going to happen.
You have to be positive in all of this, because you can always get setbacks. You can get, you can be disappointed. You can, things mightn't always go your way, but at the end of the day, if it's for you, it won't pass you. So we'll see how it goes.
You better bring out some of this positivity on the radio show. I tell you, I'll be tuning in every week for my hour of positivity. Oh, it's great. And what was I going to say? Have you so music wise now? Obviously, the radio be keeping you busy. With Lord Cheer finished up, have you new music coming out, or are you just working away on getting things ready, or writing away, or what's the plan?
I'll be writing. Yeah, I've been writing, and there was a couple of songs that I had started and I hadn't finished because the inspiration just didn't come to me the same day. So I've started back working on them, and we will have a single coming out in a couple of weeks to get working on that now, to decide whether to do a cover or my own song. But definitely, and I'd love to, if it was at all possible, get an album out before the end of the year. So fingers crossed for all that. But we'll see how it goes, and fingers crossed we'll full album by the end of the year, I hope.
That sounds great. Yeah, and I mean it's still only February, so you've got like 10 months. Yeah, you've loads of time. And this is one thing that's come up a lot lately, is the whole, should I release a cover? Should I release my own song? It seems to be a constant battle for artists between the two.
Well, I've released 2 of my own, and whatever about, I suppose, when I released the covers, I was obviously apprehensive, because releasing any song is nerve-wracking. And then when I released my own, I was in a daze. I was like, oh, this can go really, really good, or it can go really, really bad. But thankfully for me, it went really, really good. So I suppose that spurs me on as well, to release more of my own music, considering that people have responded so well to the rest of it. But yeah, it's a decision I have yet to make, and we'll see how the writing goes, and that'll depend on all that. So yeah.
That sounds great. Geez, you've your year planned out anyway, and it started off on a high, so there's no doubt about it. Yeah, you sound like a really positive person, and I suppose level-headed, which is great. It doesn't seem like fame is getting to you too much.
Definitely not, and definitely not here in this house. We're all fairly chilled and fairly relaxed, and I suppose at the end of the day, the biggest stars in the world, you're a person at the end of the day, and I think a lot of personality kind of depends on where you get and where you don't get. So I've just always been that very relaxed about the same thing. I just love playing music and singing, and I don't see it as fame or a job or something. It's just, I absolutely love it. So I'm lucky that I get to do it at the end of the day.
That's so lovely to hear. Oh, you're just so appreciative of it all. I don't know, did I even say that right? Appreciative of
you did,
of it
you
all.
did, yeah.
Bit of a mouthful there, but anyway. Now when we first came on the podcast, we were chatting away before we started recording, and I was delighted to hear that you listened to the podcast, which was I was loving that. So you're therefore very familiar with the Quickfire Round.
Yeah. Okay.
Pressure is on. Yeah, I don't usually tell people that it's coming, because then you can't have kind of pre-thought your answers. So yeah, we're going to give
no.
so we're going to give the Quickfire Round a go, and 1 or 2 answers or whatever comes to mind, and we'll get a bit more into the head of Katelyn Malloy. So here is the Quickfire Round with Katelyn Malloy. So Katelyn, who's your favorite American singer?
Shania Twain.
Love it. That's good. Okay, what's your favorite country song to listen to?
Oh, possibly "God Bless the Broken Road" by Rascal Flatts.
Good one. Love it. Love that one. Do you prefer to perform a jive or waltz?
Jive.
Most people say that, actually.
Yeah, love it. Yeah.
Next one, can you dance?
I try. I tried to jive. My mother has been teaching me, but I probably need a few classes. You might help us out there.
There we go. I'd say I could have a full class for all the singers in Ireland.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Who's your favorite Irish singer, Irish country music singer?
Ooh,
People are always very careful with this one because they don't want to offend anyone.
No. Well, you see, I'd have a few. I'd have an older one and a younger one. I suppose in terms of since I was younger and what I listened to, I could actually have to say Declan Learning.
He's my favorite.
Yeah. Love him.
Speaking of Declan, is he related? Because obviously he's related to Una. Is he related to you?
No, he'd be on Una's mom's side. Declan always says the way he describes the relation is if there was an argument, he'd have to step in. So yeah, we're all very close as well. At the same time, he's been very good to me when I was younger, and obviously my Nerny Beat was written about him. So
yeah. Very good. Which do you prefer, a concert or a dance?
Dance.
Why?
Just, I suppose there's always that extra bit of high energy, and you really do, while you're in a concert, you do feed off that as well. But to see people up and enjoying themselves is wonderful. Yeah, definitely.
What's your favorite venue to gig in?
I do have to say, I have been, I'm sure you've been there, the Welland Moat. You ever been to the Welland Moat? I haven't done a huge amount of other venues that kind of all be the same, but the Welland Moat is definitely a very good one. Yeah.
Is there a reason for that? Because as a dancer, I personally don't enjoy the Welland Moat.
I don't know. I suppose I've just always had a very good energy from there. Anytime I've been there. Now, I suppose there's other places. The MacWilliam actually would be up there as well. The MacWilliam Park would be up there when it's full to the rafters. I mean, you can't get better either, you know. No, I do. I like the Well, but I can understand where you're coming from as a dancer as well.
As a dancer, it's quite plus. I like big open spaces, so as a dancer, there's low ceilings. But I do love going. God, I shouldn't be bad mouthing. I'm not. I love going to the Well, but it's just interesting to see the difference. Yeah. So no, but it's nice and intimate as well as well.
It is. Yeah. You really are engaging with your audience when you're there.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a difference between that sort of a venue versus the MacWilliam, where it's a wide open space. So yeah, there's kind of pros and cons to both of them, I suppose.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Who's your biggest fan?
My mother. Anybody that follows me on Facebook or who my mother has befriended on Facebook will know she would be my number one all the time. I mean, obviously my family, my father and my poor granddad, God rest him, we lost him last year in COVID, and my dad's mom, my granny and my godfather would kind of be the ones that would take most an interest. But Mom is always there. She's there learning my songs with me, picking songs, and of course doing the momager duties, as people call them on Facebook.
That's what we have. I have a momager too.
Yeah, that's what they call her. They call her the Chris Jenner of our house. So
it's lovely to hear someone else being called the momager, because me and my sister call our mum the momager. So that's great to know there's other momagers out there.
She's probably standing outside the door here now, actually listening, because she said she'd leave, but she's definitely out in the hall. She's
Mom, what's Mum's name?
Bridie.
Hello, Bridie. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. I'm assuming you'll be listening to this now, so fair play to you, Bridie. Good woman. Now, moving on. Do you play any instruments? Well, other than the guitar.
I play the guitar, yeah. I used to play a bit of piano, and that I more kind of steered towards the guitar, but I wouldn't mind getting back into it.
Very good. What's your favorite local radio station other than Downda? But yeah,
local.
Local.
Well, I suppose our main local radio station here would be Galway FM, and they're very supportive. Valerie and Mark and all the gang are very supportive of us playing our music every week. So yeah, they're brilliant. Really good.
Yeah, no, I do tune in sometimes. All right, so very good. I'd be a big fan of Ollie's. All right, I do like tuning into Ollie.
Ollie and Molly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, what is your favorite song to sing?
I absolutely love singing Good Girls Are Gonna Go Bad. I think the start of that song just puts such a pump of energy into it, and if the band are really in form, it's just a massive dumps. Yeah, it's a nice song to dance to as well. It's a good drive. Yeah.
Absolutely, no, I like that one. What is your favorite thing about the country music scene and your least favorite thing about the country music scene?
My favorite thing would be, I suppose, what we talked about previously, was that you make so many friends, and you make lifelong friends, and that everybody looks out for everybody at the same time. Obviously, as I said, we're all in competition with one another, but at the same time, everybody's rooting for you. They want you to do well, much as they want themselves to do well. And I suppose my least favorite thing would be that I don't think the girls sometimes get the same chance as some of the lads, maybe. It's been said to me a few times, and I probably agree with it. The girls are definitely do need to maybe push that a little bit harder. But that's why, as you said, girl power, all of us girls, you'll see it on Facebook, we all stick together and support one another. So that'd be the only thing.
Yeah, no, I suppose, like, yeah, there always has been that thing about male versus females in the countries you've seen. It's primarily males, and like, I don't think there's any getting away from that, even though there is a bigger influx of females coming into the scene. But I just think there's always going to be that. I mean, you're even going back as far as the country music in America. I mean, it's kind of just, it comes along with, it's just that stigma. Yeah. But that's not a bad negative to pick for, you know, that's, it keeps, I suppose, it keeps girls on their toes as well, though, because it means girls have to be kind of giving it that extra push all the time.
Yeah, it's not a negative. It's just, I suppose it's just an observation maybe that a lot of people have come to me with. But look, not to say that the guys don't work hard as well. I mean, they do. The guys work so hard, just as hard as any of the rest of us. But like that, there is, and I suppose at the moment, there's so many girls and girls around my age even coming in that it might be just a little bit harder for us to get climbing the ladder. But if you keep working, that's all you can do, and do your best. Can't do any better.
Absolutely. And the last question, tell us something we don't know about you. Any secret hobbies or interests, or anything we don't know that we wouldn't know about you.
People don't know about me. Probably very little, because I'm very open with sharing things on Facebook. They might know this. I'm a big dog lover. Love dogs. We have 5 dogs here at home. So we've 3 American Akitas, and I have my little terrier Jackson, and then we have Teddy. A lot of my hobbies would probably revolve around the dogs, walking the dogs and looking after them. If I could have loads more dogs, I would, but I'm not allowed.
No, it doesn't matter what age you are. Mom, Bridie said, well, Bridie says that that's it, isn't that it?
Well, 5 is a lot, in fairness, and the Akitas aren't exactly small, so.
I was going to say, I think I need to see photos of them now, because I'm a big dog lover. Only in the last 2 years when I got my own dog, and since then I'm obsessed. But himself, Mihal, loves Akitas. That's like his dream dog. Yeah. So I think, we'll need to see a few photos of that now. At the end of the podcast, I want to see photos. No problem. We should have brought them in if we were organised now. We could have had them at the window there behind you.
No, I don't think they'd all sit. They'd be all interested in what's going on here. And as I said, they're quite big, so there's every chance they'd knock over the whole thing here, and we'd have no podcast. So we'll leave them outside.
We'll work. A photo will have to do. We'll work with a photo. No, that's lovely to hear about the dogs. Yeah, because I suppose people just, I know myself even, automatically you forget about the person behind the music. Sometimes you see the singer, you see the songs, you see the gigs and the glittery tops and where they're going tomorrow night, but you forget that. Yes, no, I appreciate the effort, absolutely. But you do forget sometimes about the person who goes home and has a cup of tea in Claregalway, and you know, like, you forget about the actual other side of things and the 5 dogs at home. So it's nice.
That's exactly what I do. I come home and have a cup of tea. I look forward. When I was coming home from Glorchira every Tuesday there, I'd get home be late enough, and Dad would still be up and he'd have the cup of tea waiting, and it was like tea and toast. He'd make me. It's like a gourmet meal. So it's nice to come home and relax and chill as well. There's always that side of it. Everything is so busy, but you do need your downtime for yourself as well behind it all.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. You sound, I know I've said it 2 or 3 times already, but you sound so focused and level-headed, and you like small things, you appreciate the small things, and you're not looking for too much confusion in life. You seem just nice and easy going. That's the way to be.
Sure. As I said, it's that kind of way in my house here, and it always has been. So I think it stems from the top down. But yeah, I love going doing my music. I love my singing, but I also love coming home and having my time to myself as well. Yeah. Definitely.
That's fab. So yeah, we can hopefully, I mean, going by the last few weeks, you've been busy, woman. It sounds like it's going to be busy for the next while as well, with a new song coming out, hopefully an album before the end of the year, gigs coming and going. So yeah, it's sounding like you've a busy summer ahead of you. It's been so lovely to talk to you. As I said at the start, we hadn't met officially, so I'm delighted now that we have met, not in person, but sure, it's good as. Sure, if we met in person, we probably wouldn't even, you wouldn't talk this much.
No, probably not. No, but I'm sure something will come about in the next few weeks, and we might get to meet in person at some stage.
That's it. Sure, you're only down the road. And no, it's been fabulous. I appreciate you coming on to the podcast, and I appreciate you listening to it, as you said you've done in the past. So no, thank you so much. And guys, as well, forgot, you can check Katelyn out on all the normal social medias. I'm sure Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, all the above, and make sure you go and give a like and follow and all that fun stuff. And I think that's it, Katelyn. I think we better go and let you have your tea and toast.
It was lovely to chat to you, and I really appreciate you for asking me to come on. I had a great time. It was lovely to chat to you.
No problem. A nice way to spend a Sunday evening.
Exactly.
Lovely. Well, Katelyn, thank you so much. Listeners, thank you so much for tuning in again to another episode of the Country Chat podcast. Make sure you tell your friends, tell everyone about it. Tell anyone who's into country music. You can pop it on in the car, you can pop it on while you're pottering around the house, or even pop it on when you're on the way to a gig, because gigs are back. So we are absolutely delighted about that. So as always, mind yourselves, stay safe. Katelyn, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you all in the next episode.
Bye, guys.